Welcome to my channel, and I'm here to inspire you, give you crochet advice, and help you along with your next project. If you enjoyed this pattern, please give me a thumbs up or even comment so I can gauge your interest. It helps me to know what to film next. I'm not very formal. Here's today's zinger. Did somebody say free patterns? Make it rain, baby, make it rain. Free patterns for everybody. Pattern, 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 pattern. Let's get on with today's tutorial. Welcome back to the Crochet Cowl. So my friends over at yarnspirations.com, we have a cowl for you today. It's called Le Papillon, and it is a cowl, and it's called the butterfly in English. So what we have here is Red Heart Unforgettable, and it's a beautiful transitioning yarn. As you can see, it's just requiring one ball, and you'll need a 6mm size J crochet hook in order to play. So this one has some rich texture to it. It's really quite fun and fabulous. If you'd like to change the size of this, you can easily do this. This is done as a panel and then joined at the end of it. And what we also have is that there's something else so special, but the changing of the size is in multiples of 6 plus 2. So if you want to change the size, just keep chaining in 6s and then add 2 to the end. Here what we have in this particular example is that we're going to make our chain, and we're going to build the chain straight up. So let me just grab a marker because it's easier for you to see. So we're going to make a chain, and then we're going to build straight up like this, and then we're going to go a certain amount and then finish it off. We're then going to turn the whole project upside down and then work on it going the other direction like this, and then you'll finish it off. So technically the very beginning of this is actually in the center, and it builds out on both sides, and then once you have it done, you just wrap it and then join here with just some sewing. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's begin with the slip knot. This is an intermediate level. There's lots of texture on this, and I think you're gonna love it. And we have a chain 92 to start if you would like to do the exact sample. I'm using Peyton's Inspire with the 6.5mm size K crochet hook to match the thickness of this yarn. So you can either chain 92, or you can do the multiples of 6 plus 2, which I will do just a small swatch with you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if I'm not happy with the width, I can do another 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes or no. If not, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm happy with the width of this, then what I can just do is just add 2 more, and that's multiples of 6 plus 2, or you can chain your 92. Let's begin the foundation row for the first time. Let's begin. So the foundation row is going to be the row that is going to be used to grow it up, and then we're going to turn it over and use the same row on the bottom side. So to do this row, I want you to go second chain from the hook, turn it over, get the back hump of the second chain, and I want you to single crochet yourself across the chain. You don't need to count if you're confident with your counting for the first time, but if you are doing the cowl and you want to count exactly as written, it's a total of 91 single crochets. So I wouldn't worry about it if you're confident though. So just single crochet across for the foundation row, and I'll be back in a moment. At the end of the foundation row, just continue to go right to the end, and then you're going to turn your work and begin row number 1. Let's begin row number 1. So now you're just going to chain up 1 and place 1 single crochet into the very first one. And then we're going to bobble into the next one. So these bobbles will take you a little bit of time, and the goal is that you will have 11 loops on the hook before you pull through the final. Here's how it's done. You're going to wrap the hook and going into the next stitch, and when you go into the next stitch, you're going to yarn over and pull through and jam it down the shaft of your hook to size it better. If it's too tight, it's harder to get out. So that was once, and you need to do that a total of 5 times. So wrap and in and yarn over, pull through. That was twice. Yarn over and in, yarn over, pull through 3 times. Yarn over and in, pull through. That was 4 times, and yarning over and in, pull through, and that's a total of 5 times. So there should be a total of 11 loops on the hook. So let's just count it for the first time just for the fun of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if you do it 5 times, I don't think you need to count that, but that's up to you. So once you're satisfied, yarn over, pull through everything, and by pushing it down the hook like it did, it was easier to get that out. You're not going to close this stitch, so you're just going to immediately single crochet the very next one in a row. And then you're going to do the bobble on the next one. So let's just repeat this and speed up a little bit. So yarn over and in, pull through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And once you're happy with it, yarn over, pull through everything. You want to be a little bit loose with it, and then single crochet the next. So what I need you to do is go all the way down your foundation row just like that, and you will see the beautiful texture is happening on the opposite side. Let's do that, and I'll see you at the end of this row. At the end of row number 1, after the final bobble, there's 1 stitch left, and that will be your last single crochet, and that will conclude it. And when you turn it around, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So let's begin row number 2. Row number 2, nice and easy. You're going to chain up 1, and you are going to apply and make sure that you get all the right stitch work in. So in the very first stitch right here is going to be a single crochet, and you're going to single crochet yourself all the way across. So just keep an eye on the tops of the bobbles to make sure you catch them and don't create any extra stitches. So just single crochet yourself all the way across. You'll have the same number as you did before. If you're doing the cowl size, it was 91 if you recall, and I want you to go all the way across with your single crochet, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I came across all the way on number 2 here, and let's turn our work and begin number 3. We're going to start doing shell work next. Let's begin our shell work. You're going to chain up 1, and in the first one you're going to single crochet. You're then going to skip 2, go to the third, and do a shell, and that's 5 double crochets into the same stitch. So let's count those out together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we skip 2, and we're going to single crochet the third one away, and we're going to repeat this going all the way across. So skip 2, shell into the third one away. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2, single into the next, and I just need you to go all the way down your row doing the same thing. My ending of my row is coming up soon, so I'm skipping 2, going to the third, putting in a shell, okay, I'm putting in my shell. I skip 2, and then the final stitch is going to be a single crochet to complete this row. This is row number 3. Let's turn our work and let's take a look. Beautiful. Let's begin number 4. In row number 4 we're going to be changing the location of the shells, so the shells go in the dips. So in number 4 we have to start with a half shell, then go to a full, and etc. So this is how we're going to do it. You need to chain 3, which will count as your first double crochet, and in the same stitch here you are going to apply 2 more double crochets into it, and that will be considered a half a shell. Once you have that done, you are then coming to the middle one of this shell. It's the middle, it's the third one over, and you're going to single crochet into that one, and then you immediately reach for the single crochet that is in between, and in the single crochet, because it's no longer on the edge, you are going to apply 5 double crochets to do a full shell. So these shells are resting in between the other shells that exist. And then once that one's done, look at the next shell, go to the middle one, single crochet, and then keep putting your shells in between. And I need you to do that all the way across. I'm going to be on the edge really shortly. I've been crocheting a lot, that so many years that there is 5 here, but my brain just knows there's 5. I don't know how, but it does. Okay, so we're gonna come close to the edge. You're gonna come into this one, the top, and in the very final one of the single crochet that is existing, it's only gonna be a half shell, so you're going to finish with 3 double crochets in that last stitch, and that will conclude then row number 4. Okay, and now you're gonna turn your work and begin number 5. So row number 5 is going to be the end of the repeat, and let's just determine where we are. So we're now going to create the shell work like we did before. The only difference in the writing is that there's shells already existing now. Before it was just a flat single crochet, if you recall. So chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and you're just gonna reach for the single crochet that is existing between the groups of shells and apply 5 double crochet. So essentially one row is going to start with full shells and the other row will be a half shell, depending what row you're on. So then reach for the middle one of the group, single crochet, and then reach for the single crochet in between the 2 groups of shells for your next shell to be placed in. And it's gonna puzzle in beautifully. And you just keep going along in that same fashion, and when you come up to the other side of your cowl, you're just going to place in your full shell, and then your very final one is going to be 1 single crochet in the top of this turning chain. Okay, that's the chain 3, like that. Now let's go through the repeat instructions for the remaining of this. So right where we are right now, I need you to repeat rows number 4 and 5 a total of 3 more times each. So do 4 5 4 5 4 5, and then that will take you to the end of row number 11, where you're going to fasten off your work and then move on. So I need you to do that. It's just the same thing. You can scroll back in the video. There is video chapters in here so that you can see that. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to assume that I did it, and then I'm going to show you how to do the second side of this cowl. So do your repeats now, and when you're ready we'll start the second side in just a few seconds from now. So let's begin to do the second side. So what we have to do is get our orientation. You would be here. It'll obviously be taller, but we're going to start the second side, and we need to not only turn it upside down to begin the second side here, but what we're going to do is that we're going to start with the wrong side of the foundation. So now that you turned it over, turn it over this way, so those bobbles are on the back. And that's where I need you to start then as we begin our journey, and we're going to be starting right here. And let's start row number 1 and get ourselves established. So we're gonna get ourselves established right on the very first stitch, and you're gonna come in. Because I had you go on the back hump of the chain, you're going to see the beautiful stitch work that you have, and you're just going to start some new yarn and begin. So just begin and attach, chain 1 and single crochet in the same one. So now you're going to start the shell work again, and so you're going to skip 2, go to the third, and apply 5 double crochets into that same stitch. So we have 1 2 3 4 and 5, and it's like you did before. We're just getting ourselves established. Skip the next 2 and single crochet in the next. So skip the next 2 and put in your shell into the next one after that. So there's 5 double crochets. And then you're going to skip the next 2 and then skip the next 2 and put in your next shell. And when you get to the other side, your stitch count should be proper. Because you'll be skipping over 2 and going into your last stitch, which is right here. And that was the first row of the second side. So let's turn our work, and now you can see. And now you're going to begin repeating steps 4 and 5 on the first side, and I'll show you those once each. So at this point you're going to repeat rows number 4 and 5 a total of 4 times. So 4 5 4 5 4 5 4 5. So let's just do 4, 5 once just to make sure that you get yourself started. So row number 4, if you recall, you're going to chain 3, and this side, because the shell's here, we're going to create a half shell. So 2 more double crochets into that same stitch. Then come to the middle one of the shell, single crochet, and then slam in 5 double crochets in between the next shells in the single crochet. Okay, and then a single crochet in the middle of the next shell, and etc. And you're just gonna work your way all the way across like you already had done before. Single crochet in the middle, and so the other side here, it's just gonna be a half shell on the very last one. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and that was row number 4. Let's turn our work and begin row number 5. In row number 5, if you recall, is chain up 1, 1 single into the first, and then you were going to come into between the shell work 5 double crochets there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet into the middle one of that group, and then shell into the single crochet that's between the 2 shells below. Okay, single crochet in the next middle one, and then shell into the next one in between the 2 groups. And then finally the very last stitch is a single crochet in this chain in the top of the chain 3. So what I need you to do is do a repeat. Let's quickly talk about that, and then I'll show you how to join the 2 sides together. So here at this point of the tutorial we had to repeat 4 and 5 a total of 4 times. So I've already shown you once, so you have to do it 3 more times from this particular point, and then you'll see that it's growing out. You can see the beautiful texture that's happened, and now I'm going to show you how to join the 2 edges together. So it's gonna be obviously much taller, but I think you can understand this point, and I want to secure all loose ends, but the very last strand, once you get all the way up there, just create an extra long one so that you can use it to sew it together on the other side. Let's do that next. Before we get too far in this, I want to show you how to secure any loose ends that you will have. You will have them because you had to split it in the middle. So put it onto the hook. See, this is the side with the bobbles popping out, the other side's flat. Just turn it over to the back side, the flat side, and just ram the needle through the stitch work. If you split fibers, it stays in better. People are messaging saying that things don't hold. That's because they may be trying to put their work in, or this between stitch work, but if you actually split fibers when you go in, it's much harder to get out. I never seen it of a problem, but that's my suggestion. So any loose ends, that's how you're going to do that. Weave it back and forth a total of 3 times, and now I'm gonna show you how to sew this. So let's show you how to sew this. So right where you are, I want you just to pull a loop through and pull it through and get rid of the hook. This is the good side of the work. You can see the beautiful bobbles that you have, and I want you to fold it so that the bobbles are on the inside, so that the seam line will then favor here. Using your tapestry needle, what we're going to do is a mattress stitch, and just keeping the 2 edges together, just jumping across like that, and just keep moving down your project. Now with the Red Heart Boutique version, you just want to be very careful. Make sure everything's nice and tight because the work is transitioning in color. Here, because the color is all the same, you don't really see it at all, but you would see it on a transitional for sure. So that's why I want to do the mattress stitch here. So I'm just gonna work my way down the edge, back and forth, jumping across, and I will see you at the end of this seam line in just a moment. Once I come all the way down to the base, I want to just secure it. stay on this side of the project that you're looking at. You're looking at the inside of the cowl at the moment, and just tie, I like to tie just a quick knot before I start weaving in my ends. So just make sure it ties on to itself. Pull it tight, and then I'm going to take it, splitting the fibers. Don't be cheap about it, so make sure you get a little bit of length in there, and you're just gonna go through once and then back through a slightly different path twice, and then third time is a charm. And once you have that done, you're good to go. So obviously it would be a lot bigger than this, and then you're just gonna turn it like that, and there is the outside of your cowl. You got the texture, you got the basically the texture and try to make it sound more complicated than it is, but it's really quite pretty, and obviously it'd be much bigger, and I think it's a great little pattern. So this is Le Papillon. This is French for butterfly, and you can see that the butterflies are floating away from the center, and the way that she's got it styled is that it's almost folded in half so that the bobbles are kind of at the top. That's kind of how she's wearing it. That's it for today. We hope you have a good one, and we'll see you again real soon, I hope.